Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nobuhle Kumalo and today's video is all about the second-hand market for cars. In South Africa, the second-hand market is quite booming because cars are so expensive. You would have experienced this if you watched my top 10 affordable cars video that I did recently. I got a lot of comments, I got a lot of people who were shocked at how expensive cars are. Oh my goodness, that's how much you're paying per month. Well, I'm kind of glad that I shocked everyone to reality because I had that same shock when I had to buy my first car. But I also want to tell you that, listen, there are alternatives. You don't have to get a brand new car. You can always get a second-hand car at a much more affordable rate. And I'll tell you how I did it because that's how I got my Polo. My Polo was a demo car. Demo car still counts as a second-hand car, even though you buy it from the dealership. Right. Okay, cool. Let me get right into the video. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Share with your friends. As long as you're learning, as long as you're having fun. Anyways, okay, cool. Let me get right into the video. I want to give you a structure so that if you don't want to watch the whole video, you can jump to whatever part is relevant for you. However, I would definitely implore you or encourage you to watch the whole video because if you only see snips of what I'm saying, you might not get the full context. So basically, I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm going to tell you my story, why I had to change my car, or why I did change my car, how I did it, and then at the end I'm going to give you tips and tricks for buying second-hand cars. So if you only want the tips and tricks, you can jump right there. Just check in the description box. There are literally timestamps for everything. Okay, so just for my story, this is what happened to me. When I bought my first car, it was a Ford Figo 2020. I bought it in 2020 Jan. So I bought it right at the beginning of the year. I loved my car. Not that I loved it. Okay, I didn't really love it, but it was fine for the time. I needed a car. I needed a car within 2 weeks, so it had to do, right? It was automatic, metallic silver, electric windows. It was nice. It was nice. Right. But now the thing is, when I bought my car, like I always tell you, I had no credit record, which meant that my interest rate was sky high. They started me off at 15%, then it dropped to 13%, and then it kind of stayed at 13%. Right. Then, but I was happy. I was paying 4,200 Rand per month for my Ford Figo. Whatever. It's fine. Fast forward a couple of months later, I'm checking my car statement and I realized that actually I'm paying 4,200 for this car, but I also have a balloon payment. Now, I don't know how I missed the fact that my car had a balloon payment. I think it was also just a matter of I need this car. 4,200 Rand seems affordable. I'll deal with whatever happens after 5 years later. So that's what happened. I had a balloon payment. So when I saw it a couple of months later, I'm now shocked to the core. I hated the fact that I had a balloon payment, and I realized that actually the car that I had was a lot more expensive than I thought. 4,200 Rand plus a 80,000 Rand balloon payment for a Ford Figo. No ways, bruh. No ways. It didn't make sense. I didn't mind paying, but it had to at least be a car that I enjoyed, that I loved, that I walked out of work and said, oh, this is my baby, which is what I do with my Polo. Trust me. Literally ask my colleagues when I walk out, I look at my car like, oh, there's my car. So when I saw that, I decided that actually, you know what, I might have to change my car. Rather I pay for something that I actually enjoy. Cool. So this is what happened. So a couple of months later, I went out to supper with some of my colleagues, and as we were driving to the mall, we were all convoying, and I realized that all my teammates had Polos. All of them, not Polos, sorry. All my teammates had VWs. Our manager had a lovely Golf something. I think it was a Golf 7. And then all my team members had Polos, different variations, but we were all Polos. And then I came there with my Ford Figo. I was like, oh my goodness, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with the Ford, guys, but I was just, I liked the Polo. I wanted the Polo to begin with, but I just thought I couldn't afford it. So when I saw all my mates driving Polos, I was like, no ways, guys, where are people getting money? So we spoke about it with my friends, and I asked them how much they're paying for their installments, and I realized that their installments weren't that bad compared to what I was paying for my Figo. Plus, they didn't really have balloon payments. So now I started questioning everything. I started questioning my whole existence. Oh my goodness, how are people paying 800 Rand more just to drive a Polo versus a Figo, and they don't even have a balloon payment? Something's not cutting. this is where I realized that, you know what, interest rate really means a lot. Anyways, okay, after the conversation with my colleagues, I started opening my eyes on the freeway, like looking at cars, seeing what I'd like. I knew I wanted a Polo. I just didn't know what kind of Polo I wanted. Then I saw these new Polos, the Polo TSIs. I was like, actually, I would love that car. You know, it would also be like a nice, it was worth the wait. Because if I had bought my Polo first year, I would have probably bought a Polo Vivo. And now because I'd waited, I can kind of buy like a nicer Polo. Anyways, I saw this Polo, and then I told my dad and my partner that, listen guys, I'm gonna change my car. And I had to tell him because those are the two guys that are like quite invested in my decision making. Like when I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, those are the two people that I call on to, my dad and Taps. So I told him, guys, this is what I want to do. My dad was just like, okay. Taps was also like, ah, wait, that's right. So I was like, oh my goodness, they're not really objecting. That is weird, because I thought they would object because, you know, Polos are like a high risk car. You'll get hijacked, all of that stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but oh my goodness. So now I mustn't enjoy nice things with my money because they are skibengus. Oh, yeah. Anyways, okay, cool. So I started looking for this car. I spoke to my private banker, asked her how much they're willing to finance me, and she told me an amount. After I showed her that, listen, I'm also earning on YouTube, she kind of bumped up the cheese, and that's how I was able to get the Polo TSI, not just like the Polo Vivo, because she was like, oh, okay, you're making more money than just your articles. Cool. Now the search was on. I started looking everywhere. I looked on Auto Trader, cars.co.za. I looked at dealerships, VWs. I looked everywhere, and I knew at that point that I couldn't get it brand new, because if I got a brand new, like, it was costing so much. Oh my goodness, like, it was so expensive. But then VW was also trying to convince me to buy it with their financing, and I still pay like the same installment that my bank was going to give me. But the trick is, guys, as much as they can say, no, listen, we can drop your installment to 5 point whatever to match what your bank is saying, that 5 point what you're being quoted an interest rate of like 10%, 11%. There's probably a balloon payment. There's probably so many things that have gone into it just to make sure that they drop the monthly installment to what your private bank is offering you. So obviously I'm not about that. Like, I once bitten, twice shy. I'm not buying a car again with a balloon payment. Like, wrong person, not happening. Cool. Okay, so then I found the car in multiple places, to be quite honest. And then I went through a journey. I looked at all these different garages, and guys, I'm telling you, I could have bought this car for 70,000 rand cheaper, but it wouldn't have been like with a reputable garage, and I would have run the risk of buying a stolen car, or a car that's in an accident, or a car that's just really faulty. And even if like something happens, I can't even take it back to that garage, because it's like, no bro, you buy it as is. You don't buy it and you still have a guarantee to come back. So anyways, I spoke to my cousin who's in the vehicle industry, and he begged me to not buy from these small garages. He's like, you're gonna have problems, and you're not gonna be able to get help, and you're still gonna have to pay for the car every month, even though they sold you a whack car. So please, by all means, buy it from VW. Cool. So that's how I spent like almost 70k more, just because I had to buy it from VW. But I do not regret it, because I ended up getting a demo car. A demo car is it's still a second hand, but it basically means that it was a car used within the dealership. So, you know, when people when people want to buy a car and they want to test drive, this is the car they used to use. There was a lady who drove this car quite frequently. She was the one, I think she had stickers on the car, and she used to like promote the dealership, so she used to use this car. So that's why it's considered secondhand. But I preferred her secondhand, or rather VW secondhand demo car, because I knew for a fact that it had all of its regular services. I mean, it services in the actual store, so it's not like they have to pay to service it. Also, if I had any issues, I knew I could always come back to VW and they fix it, which they did. I actually had a small issue, like my car was slightly rolling, and it's an automatic car, so it's not meant to roll. Slightly rolling, and like someone kind of told me like, no, just put up with it. I was like, hey, well, no, bro, like, I'm gonna start missing my Figo. My Figo never rolled. Anyways, I took it back to VW, and they fixed it, and now I'm happy, and I'm glad that I bought it from VW, because if I had bought it from these small garages and had an issue, they would have probably been like, we don't know how to fix it, because they don't specialize in those cars. They literally sell every single car that you want, so it's not like they know VW through and through. Cool. Okay, so this is what I actually did. I'm going to read you the steps. So this is what I did. Step 1, I found out the value of my financing contract. I logged onto Wesbank's thing. I checked. You can get like a dummy settlement statement, to say, if I were to settle this car within 1 week, what would I have to pay you guys to get you off my back? They quoted me, and I said, okay, cool. Then after that, I went to Auto Trader, cars.co.za, We Buy Cars, and Wheelie to find out how much I could sell my car for, because I wanted to make sure that I could sell my car for a higher amount than what I needed to pay Wesbank, or at least the exact same amount. I don't want to pay any amount out of my bag. I just wanted to at least cover the car, but also try and make a profit, which I kind of did, because so cool. So I saw on cars.co.za what they were like valuing the cars for. Then I went to We Buy Cars to get an official valuation. We Buy Cars does a free valuation for you. You drive in, they take the car for like a 1 hour spin or whatever. I think the guy does everything. He probably drops all your windows, he plays the radio, he does emergency stopping, he does everything that needs to be done just to make sure the car that you're bringing in to be valued is actually like Pila, like it's alive. And then cool, then he comes up and he does a nice statement for you to say that, listen, this car's worth this. We are willing to pay for this car this amount. So with me, they quoted me an amount that was reasonable, but also the thing is, they asked me how much is like outstanding on the financing, which I don't like, because why are you asking me how much I owe? Because now you're gonna try lowball me, and that's exactly what the guy at We Buy Cars did. I told him, so I was like, this guy's stupid. Like, do you really think I'm gonna sell this car at a loss when I see that I can sell it for 230 rand on Auto Trader? So anyways, I said, okay, thanks. And then he said, why aren't you taking it? I was like, because you're lowballing me. There's no way I'm gonna sell my car for that amount. And I even said, I also hate the fact that you made me disclose how much I owe Wesbank, because now you're trying to make sure that I don't make any profit. And then he's like, okay, no, listen, I can give you a higher amount, and then so I was only going to make 1,000 rand profit. And then I said, okay, cool. And then he said, no, but you need to sign this thing to say that you're not going to take offers from anyone else, and I'll lock in this price for you. So then I said, nah, bruh, I don't feel comfortable signing, because I don't even know if I'm going to find the car that I want. So I can't promise to bring you the car on Tuesday and then I'm carless. So no, I don't want to sign. It's like, okay, cool. Well, just call me if you still want to sell. I said, cool. So guys, do not sell. Do not sign. When they say sign so that you lock in the price, don't sign. They're making you sign because they know that they're lowballing you. What I did after that is I contacted wheelie.co.za, I think. Wheelie was chef's kiss. Wheelie just wants pictures. You don't even drive in your car. They just want pictures of your car. And then what happens is that they don't buy the car. They bring in people who come bid for your car. So my car was bidded for on a Monday, and the bid was won by a Kia dealership. So Kia, like a Kia dealership, they also buy other cars like Figos and stuff. So they bought my car. I think it was for 201,000 rand. So I was like, hey boy, let's go. Sorry. I agreed with Wheelie, and they facilitated the whole thing. So Wheelie doesn't buy the car, like I said. They just facilitate. They get the buyer and the seller, and they make sure that your transaction is like clean. And they kind of like check up on you, and they ask you, did the guy pay? Did you get a statement showing that he paid? Like, just to make sure that you're not getting cheated out of the whole thing. Cool. So I got a nice valuation from Wheelie, and then I showed my private banker, and then she was like, okay, you're good to sell. Now find the car that you want. Okay, cool. And then I found the car that I wanted. When I eventually found it, it was a lot more expensive than what I'd shown my private banker initially. Because initially I just took a screenshot of Auto Trader, but then I realized that these cars were being sold at these like small garages, like people who were selling privately, and that's kind of risky because you don't know if the car is stolen, if the car's been in an accident, versus when you buy from like a dealership like a VW. They come with a guarantee, they come with all these added benefits, so it's obviously going to be a lot more expensive. Like I said, I ended up paying 70,000 rand more for my car, but it's fine because I have peace of mind. cool. Next, my private banker did an affordability assessment, which I think is really important. And even if you don't have a private banker, even if someone's not asking you to fill out a budget, I encourage you to do it. I have a video on budgeting. I have a template for you to just pop in numbers and it automatically does the budget for you. But I did a budget to see how much I am actually able to afford as an installment, because you don't want to buy a car and then you actually can't do anything for the rest of the year of your life. Basically, you can't pay rent, you can't buy food just because you're paying off this car. So yeah, so I did that, showed my assets, my liabilities, income, expenses, all of that, and I could still afford the car. Luckily, also insurance for second-hand cars is a lot less. That's just because the retail value of your car is quite reduced. Also, it's not like a brand new car. It's not like you're buying a car 2022 and no, they're insuring a car that was like 2020. Actually feels like such a long time ago because of COVID. But yeah, so my insurance actually did drop, so that was great. But also, yeah, I think I don't fully understand insurance. I'll be upfront with you guys, and actually I'm gonna study it a bit more, because I thought with insurance, like, if my car crashes, they're gonna give me a new one. But apparently it's not the case. But anyways, let me not get into it. I'll research and I'll come back to you guys. But yeah, I honestly thought I crashed my car, I get a new car. How? That's not the case, especially with second-hand cars. But anyways, once I'd done the affordability assessment, my banker gave me the go-ahead. She gave me a pre-approval letter, and then I actually went to the place where I was going to buy the car. The amount that the bank was willing to finance me was a little less than what the car was worth, so I actually had to put in a deposit. I think my deposit was about 35,000 rand, which is a lot of money for someone who decided and bought a car within like 14 days, like 2 weeks, I don't know. But it was a lot of money to just bring up out of the blue, because I wasn't planning to change cars. It was very impulsive, but I'm glad I did it. But anyways, I got 10k from my dad. I think I got 5k from my mom. Okay, I got 15k from my parents. Thing is, I asked them separately. I was like, yeah. Actually, my mom also sent me a little bit more. Anyways, and then I also used my own money. And then once I finalized my purchase, obviously I did the whole car insurance tracker and everything. And only once I had my new car did I actually let go of my old car. I spoke to the guy who bought it, because obviously I had their number, and I said, listen, I'm going to give you this car, but thing is, I don't have a car right now, so I can't be carless. Like, there was no way I was going to be carless, because the job I do doesn't allow me to not have a car. So if I was going to be carless, I'd rather not sell. I'd rather just keep my figure and do the wholesale thing like next month. So yeah, so I told him that, listen, I can't bring you the car right now. And he was very understanding, Shame. I think because I was upfront about it, he was very understanding. And then when it was time to actually hand over my Ford Figo, I went to the Kia branch, and he printed the settlement thing, and then he settled it with the click of a button. I said, oh my goodness, I want that button, because I'm trying to settle this new Polo like that. Like, he literally settled it, and then he sent me proof of the payment, and then he said he'd send me my statement the next day, because it was a Sunday, so I don't think it reflected. So I said, okay, cool. I was kind of easy, like, I was kind of trusting of him, because he was at a Kia dealership, and like, if he did any funny things, I know where he works, dog. Like, and everyone saw me walk in, the cameras, the security are signed in. So if any funny thing happened, I have proof that I came here and I dropped off my car. So yeah, so that's what I did. And then I'm trying to think. And then obviously he also tried to bargain. You know how I bargained with selling, he was also bargaining with buying, which is fine. But like, he made his match, because he tried to, like, he bid it for 201, and then he wanted to buy the car for 198. And I said, hey boy, why? And then he's like, no, because we have to wash the car and do like a whole valet, clean the engine. So I said, what? And then I was like, no ways. And then I said, how much is your valet? And then he's like, about 400 rand. So then I was like, well, then 201,000 minus 400 rand is 200,600. And then he's like, yeah, well, there's also, and then I said, listen, this is not what we agreed on, and I don't appreciate that I've come all this way here and now you're trying to lowball me. And I was like, if you wanted to do this bidding, you should have bid 201,198,000 on the day, not bid 201 and then try like downball me, like downplay my amount. So I said, I'm actually not happy with what you're doing. Then he's like, okay, no, let's not mess up the deal, it's fine. I'll pay 200,600. So I said it's fine. Then I said, actually, you can even scrap the 600,000, just pay 200,000, because I even brought in the car slightly late, so my kilometers were slightly high. I didn't say kilometers because he was actually gonna use it against me. I just said, because I brought in the car slightly late, you can drop the 600 as well, because you did me a courtesy. So he said, okay, thank you. He paid 200,000. All this 200,000 doesn't come to my account, unfortunately. I'm glad. That's a good thing though. He paid 19, I can't remember how much. I think it was 198 now to Wesbank, because obviously every day that you delay selling, your car vehicle financing increases. So when I got my initial quote, it was 196. When I actually sold my car, it was 198. So now it was chiming into my profit, which did not sit well with me. But it's fine. I just want the car gone. I already had my car. I was happy. So yeah, so he paid 198 to Wesbank, and he paid the 2,000 rand excess to me directly. Fine. It was just little. It was little 2,000, but you know what? 2,000 is a lot when you just bought a car.
And that's a wrap on how I actually sold my Ford Figo and bought my new car. If you do want tips and tricks on how to do this, if you're planning on doing it, do check out my next video. I didn't want to make the video too long, hence I split it up. Cool.